Hello everyone, this is Dr. Dutson and welcome back to my blog on reversing type 2 diabetes. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck does a bat cave and diabetes have in common? Well, hold that thought for a moment, and first I'd like to tell you a little bit about this particular bat cave. I had the opportunity here recently to go to the Bracken Bat Cave, which is just outside of San Antonio, Texas. And it was really fascinating because this is the largest single colony of bats in the world. And it is made up of just the female mother bats, the mama bats, if you will, and all of their babies. There are no adult male bats living in this colony. And from about dusk on each night, as the bats come out of here between March and November, they estimate there are approximately 20 million bats that come out of this cave each night. Now, if you'll notice also, as they come out, they started out initially just trickling out, and then the numbers increase. And the reason that they come out, this serves them very well in large numbers, is because there are predators, just like this hawk sitting at the top of the tree. There are predators waiting for them as they come out, and they get protection in numbers. And that's an important fact for the bats that serves them well. But we as human beings oftentimes do things in numbers too, because we want to fit in. We don't want to stand out in a crowd, so to speak. Because the standard American diet, we have a natural tendency for all of us to eat a lot of processed foods, fat foods. But the problem with that is it does not serve us well. You see, the bats, they get protection by doing it this way, coming out, circling counterclockwise in this vortex, rising up, because it's harder for that hawk to get them. But eating the standard American diet, that truly sets us up for a drastic increased risk of developing blood sugar issues, prediabetes, and then having it advance on into full-blown diabetes. Now, if you'll see here, see the numbers are just slowly but consistently increasing. And that's what we've seen not only in the United States but across the world as far as the number of people who are dealing with issues such as obesity and diabetes. I found one of the first things that has to occur in order for a person to reverse type 2 diabetes is our mindset has to be right. You have to know and believe that type 2 diabetes is reversible. And the medical literature very clearly says that type 2 diabetes is in fact reversible. So just like the person running the 4-minute mile, as soon as that was done, then in the year that followed, a whole bunch of people were able to run a 4-minute mile because they realized it was possible. So 80% of success in anything is mental. And only 20% approximately is our actions, what we physically do. Henry Ford said it perfectly: if you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right. So I want you to know that you have to see it and believe it. And then you can go into action and do something about it. Now, if you'll notice in this bat cave again, look at the sheer numbers of bats coming out of this cave. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, the millions of bats that come out of this cave. But again, what we're seeing and what the CDC says is that approximately 1 out of every 3 adults will be diabetic no later than 2050 if we keep doing things the way we're doing. And it literally is costing billions upon billions of dollars worldwide to treat all the issues and complications that develop with diabetes. It is truly bankrupting countries. Because, I mean, not only in regards to having a negative impact on quality of life, is who's going to pay for all of this care? All of the kidney dialysis and the amputations and all the issues and complications, high blood pressure. And now we know, for example, that there's a 2 to 3 times increased risk for Alzheimer's disease in people who are insulin resistant and diabetic. So we got to get our mindset right. And one of the keys there, I think Tony Robbins said it perfectly when he said that as humans we have a natural tendency to, it's like we go through life saying, I should do this, I should eat right, I should exercise, I should pay more attention to my lifestyle. But until that should becomes a must, all we really are doing is just shooting all over ourselves. You see, it's not about trying to reverse the diabetes. We've got to decide that I'm not going to try, I will reverse the diabetes. When we get fed up with it being the way it is and living up with all the costs and the medications and the side effects and all of that, when it becomes a will and not a try, that I must do this, that's when we'll actually go into action. And I want to help you along that journey. So again, mindset's the first step. The second step is start to change to eat whole foods. And what do I mean by whole foods? Well, that's vegetables and fruits in moderation, seeds and nuts, whole grains, lean meats. These are the types of foods that we should be eating. These are the types of foods, quite frankly, that our grandparents and great-grandparents were eating. And guess what? They didn't have the obesity and diabetes that we experience today. And the types of foods that we need to avoid, well, again, there's the standard American diet, which is truly SAD, SAD, standard American diet. Processed foods, fast foods, junk foods, and sweetened drinks. It's estimated now that on a daily basis, the average person drinks 4 sweetened drinks a day. So what I want you to know, the takeaway message here, is following each other serves these bats well, but following the standard American diet doesn't serve us well at all. So what we need to do is break out of the pack. We don't want to be like these bats that just follow the leader. First, we need to be willing to make a decision, a true decision, to reverse our type 2 diabetes. That means no should, no try. It's imperative that it becomes a must. And then it requires that we be bold and go into action. And we do that, the first step is to start by cleaning up our diet. We must step away from the standard American diet, which truly is sad. And on a future blog, I'll go into more specific details about the types of foods to eat and the way to clean up our diet. So this is Dr. Dutson from the Bracken Bat Cave outside of San Antonio, Texas, encouraging you to eat right, exercise, and live life to the fullest.